Hello everyone, if you are new, my name is Marin. Welcome to another week in my teacher life, except that this is just going to be a 2-day version because we have 2 more days until winter break. So it is Monday, December 19th. It is 9 o'clock. I'm actually coming to you before school starts. Let's mark that down. I just was upstairs running my copies for today and tomorrow because I tried to run them Friday and they got lost. So I had to rerun them and only had time to print like a master. So I went ahead and copied everything. I copied 2 writing activities, a gingerbread color by number, a gingerbread man sequencing, a fluency activity for our math, and then their math homework for tonight. So later I have a meeting during my plan time. The room that we are doing that in has a copy machine, so I'm going to run their winter packets at that point because I'm sending those home today because I do think, well, I feel like I'm gonna have some kids out today, and I also feel like I'm gonna have some kids out tomorrow just because of childcare arrangements, that kind of stuff. So we will just see how the day goes. But this weekend I went to Target. I picked up Christmas cards for my teammates. I also purchased my Secret Santa's gifts because we're doing a Secret Santa gift exchange tomorrow. And what else? Oh, and I picked up all kinds of stuff to put together like a little Christmas goodie bag for my students. No candy. I didn't want to do candy. I just did little toy type things. So I will send those home tomorrow because I am not going to have time to put those together today. I thought I could do it on my plan time, but I have that meeting instead. So that's where we are. I am going to quickly get the classroom ready to go, and then the students are going to come in and we're going to get our day started. Hopefully it will be a good one. So I will try to check in with you a little bit later. Hopefully the meeting that I have will not last the entire plan time. Let's cross our fingers so that I have some time to do some other things in the room. Tomorrow is our 1st and 2nd graders winter concert. We all are attending to help like get parents where they need to go just to support the students who are performing. So it will be a late night tomorrow. I will bring you along for all of that. But for now, it is now 9:02, so enough chatting. I will talk with you later. Hello everyone, it is 2:14. My students are at specials, so I thought I'd go ahead, come on, talk about what we have been up to this morning. So we did our math lesson. I'm actually just going to show you. So we did our math lesson. We are in module 3. We are currently working on measurement, and we are talking specifically about weight. So they started off drawing a picture of themselves and a kitten, and we talked about which one will be heavier. So obviously we are heavier than a little kitten, and then we talked about some other things that they would be heavier than. And then for our activity we used a balance scale. We had objects, so I did a pencil, I did a glue stick, I did a marker and a crayon. And because I did not bring pennies in, I think I mentioned this earlier, apologies if this is repetitive, but instead of pennies, I used these little erasers, novelty erasers. And I did use like all of one kind. So I was using these fish. And we measured how many fish it took to balance out the weight of the object. And then we did our little paper like this. So we drew the picture, we labeled it, and then we mentioned how many erasers it took to balance it out. So that was math. After that, they did their Imagine Math. We also did another sight word book. So we did this one right here. We highlight the sight words we've learned in different colors. We go through and we read the book. I really like this particular version because it's got the dots under the words. So we read it, I read it, they echo it, and then the second time we just read it straight through together. We talk about how we can use the pictures to help us figure out what the word is, and then we did highlight all of our sight words. So that was that. We went to lunch and came back in. We were finishing up our poetry notebook. So we went through and again, we highlighted the sight words. Now we didn't do this whole book, we just did some of them. So we just went through and finished up the rest of the poems that we hadn't done, but like here's an example of one of them and all of the words that we've learned. So we did that all the way through for all of the poems that we've done so far. Then they did rotations. We just did 2 rounds. I was a tiny bit grumpy because we were told like at, what time was it? Like 11 o'clock that the district wants us to send the Chromebooks home with the students for winter break so they can work on their Imagine Math. I'm just kind of really over this push for Imagine Math. It's not, there's not any proof that like drilling them with Imagine Math has any kind of benefit. And I also am not a fan of us trying to send these devices home for a 2-week break and potentially not getting them back, because if they get lost, they will no longer have a device to use at school, and we do need our devices at school. So I was not very pleased that we were being told we now had to send these home, because initially at the beginning of the year we were told we wouldn't have to send them home this year. So a little irritated there. So that's going to necessitate me getting their logging cards ready to go home and things like that. I just took them upstairs to get them laminated. Thankfully I was redoing them anyway, but I was redoing them for the classroom, not for them to take home. So now I'm gonna have to make another set, and it's just very irritating. But enough of that, no more complaining. The things that I was working on so far on my plan time, I did run off our winter break packet. This is just an optional work packet. It's there if parents want to do it. If not, it's not that big of a deal. But I did include the paper that went along with today's lesson. We have a lowercase letter tracing paper. We have just a snowball addition. I put a little maze in there. And then we've got greater than, less than, which I have not actually taught, but this has shown up on a lot of their Imagine Math, so I figured I'd go ahead and throw that in there. We've got a writing paper, and then on the back, they are counting the number of snowballs and circling the number. So that's just their little packet if the parents want to do it. I've had a few parents request it, so that's why I went ahead and did it. I'm going to put this in their mailboxes right now because I'm sending this home today. We will see how much time I have left. I really need to sweep the floor. It's looking pretty messy. The mulch outside is just super messy right now because it rained a lot last week, and now there's just a lot more dirt than actual mulch, and they're tracking it in, and it's just kind of gross. So I'm gonna give the floor a quick sweep, and then we will see how much time I have left. So let's go tackle those 2 things, and then we'll see if I have time to get up to anything else. Okay, sweeping is done. Had to take the sweater off. It's too hot, but I do have like 15 minutes, so I'm gonna go ahead and start putting together their Christmas gifts. So I'm just gonna put you on time lapse, and we're gonna quickly put these together. So here we go. Hello everyone. It is Saturday, which means I have been on my break for 4 days. This is the 4th day of my break, and I realized that I needed to go ahead and close out this vlog because it goes up tomorrow. So as you have probably deduced, I did not do any filming on Tuesday. Things got very, very busy and I just did not have time to pick up my phone and film at all. It was like nonstop, go, go, go the whole time. So instead, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give you a little recap of what we did and then officially close this out. So I apologize that there's no footage to show. That just was not gonna happen. So on Tuesday, I had my Lego club, which goes from 8:15 to 9. So I let them just play and build whatever they wanted with the Duplo blocks because we were missing a couple of kids, and so I decided not to go on with the lesson. We'll get that going again after winter break. So I did that, went down to my classroom. My students came in at 9:05. We did our morning meeting, we did our regular math lesson, and then I did have them get on Imagine Math for a little bit of time. After that, I read The Gingerbread Man, just a random version by, I think Jim Aylesworth did that one. So I read that to them. Then we watched an animated version so we could talk about how they were the same, how they were different, that kind of thing. And then it was getting close to the time for lunch, so I gave them a Gingerbread Man color by number. I'll put the screenshot right here because I got that off TPT. It was a freebie. So they colored that, went to lunch, recess, came back in. We did a sequencing activity with the Gingerbread Man where I had cutouts of the pictures, which I believe you saw earlier in this vlog, and I taped them up on the smartboard in the boxes for their paper, and then I gave them scissors and glue and had them cut that out and glue them in the right place. So that took a while. Cutting and gluing takes a very long time with kindergarten. So we did that. After that, we did a little gingerbread craft. I had found some felt cutouts of gingerbread men at Michael's. I picked up googly eyes, googly wiggly eyes, and then 3 pom-poms. So they each got 2 eyes, 3 pom-poms. I put tacky glue on their table that they shared with their person that they sit with, and they made their gingerbread man. Then I went around with a permanent marker and they got to draw the mouth however they wanted to draw it. And then at that point in time, we were getting a little bit closer to the time where we would need to pack up. So I put on the video The Snowman, which is an animated video without words, and it's just set to music. It's one of my favorite things that I used to watch when I was little, and I've shown it to every group of my students because it's not something they've ever seen. So they watched that. That's not quite 30 minutes, but close. So they watched that while I went around and I cleared off all of their tables. So I collected all of their supply baskets, dumped all the crayons out, got rid of the broken ones, put the extra ones into my extra crayon storage, and then later after they had left, I gave everyone new crayons to start January with, which we'll see how long that lasts. My thinking is that I'm going to have some kind of incentive for them for the first few weeks. If they still have all of their crayons in their basket, they can like pick treasure box or something, because this group is very chaotic and they lose their crayons like within minutes of receiving new ones. It is bizarre. So I'm going to kind of incentivize it a little bit, see if that maybe helps them get a little bit more responsible. But anyway, after they watched that, I had them clean out their chair pockets, put everything back where it belongs because those chair pockets become like a repository for stuff. And I wanted a nice clean slate to start January, and also I was moving their seats. So I wanted everything cleared out. I finally got the list of students who were allowed to take their computers home. So those students put them into their backpacks. The rest of the students put them into the cart. And then they packed up, they went to specials. And then it was time for them to go home. However, not me, because I had to help with the 1st and 2nd grade choir concert that evening. So I used the time between dismissal ending and having to leave for the concert to move their seats and organize a few things in my classroom. And that's when I was gonna film, but y'all, I didn't really have that much time and I was just like running all over the place. So again, apologies. Instead, you get this very rambly monologue about my day instead. But we went to the concert. It was about a 30-minute concert. And after that, I came home. I do have footage I can share with you because this is what I did immediately once I got home. And it is now Saturday. So it's been a good break so far. I've finished 2 books. I'm almost finished with a 3rd, and I have like 100-ish pages left in the 4th one that I'm currently working on. So pretty good break so far. I've also played a lot of Pokemon Violet because I picked up the new Pokemon game, and I finally started playing Disney's Dreamlight Valley, which has been a lot of fun. So lots of relaxing going on over here. But anyway, that's that. I wanted to go ahead and officially close out this vlog. I know it wasn't as detailed as some of them have been. I hope you're okay with that because I just could not find the time to film on Tuesday, and now I'm on break and I am a very happy camper. So anyway, if you enjoyed this vlog, please do leave me a thumbs up. Consider subscribing to my channel if you would like to see more from me. This is officially my final week in my teacher life for 2022. So I will be back sometime in January with a new one, and I will see you then. Bye, everyone.